On count one, you are guilty of a contravention of section 4.1 of the Act, read with the other legislation on trafficking in persons in relation to Joshlin Smith. On count two, you are also convicted of kidnapping in relation to Jacquen.
Western Cape High Court Judge Nathan Erasmus found Jacquen Appollis, Steveno van Rhyn, and Rhyn, better known as Kelly Smith, guilty of human trafficking and kidnapping after a 2-month-long trial. The trio are expected to be sentenced on the 29th of May 2025. But how did we get here?
Just want the mother in Kelly to wake up. We need the mother in Kelly to wake up. Her child is looking for her. Her child is calling for her. Her child is missing. Here, where's the mother? Where's the mother in you?
On the 20th of February 2024, Joshlin Smith, then 6 years old, was reported missing from an informal settlement in Appollis in Saldanha Bay. She was allegedly entrusted to her mother's boyfriend on Monday the 19th of February. Joshlin vanished without a trace upon her mom's return. Witnesses recalled last seeing her in the company of an unidentified boy. She was wearing a light blue t-shirt, denim shorts, and had a distinctive birthmark on her left arm. Community members then began their search for the missing girl.
I saw Joshlin the time when I went home, around about lunchtime. 2 days ago, that was 12 o'clock the afternoon. I went home quickly because I fixed something at home and then I went back to my workplace. Joshlin was still playing at home. Then she was playing in the water. She got out of the water and she did put on a light blue t-shirt with a 3/4 denim short and some black. He was not tied up, it was loosened, but that's the last time that I saw my child.
The search for Joshlin Smith continued for a 4th day in Saldanha Bay on Friday, the 24th of February 2024. The Saldanha Bay municipality offered a 20,000 Rand reward for information on the missing child's whereabouts as police investigated leads. At this stage, police, the South African Navy, and residents were involved in the search. Tensions began running high in Appollis, with angry residents pointing the finger at Kelly and her boyfriend known as Buddha. They threatened to take the law into their own hands. Kelly Smith says police needed to protect her from an angry mob after allegedly pointing fingers at her for her child's disappearance. On the 27th of February, Kelly appears on a now deleted Facebook Live interview with Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie. He offers a 100,000 Rand reward for information regarding the missing child. Smith's sister, Michaela Daniels, who would later take the stand during the trial, also appeared on the live. Daniels alleges that Smith called her saying that someone wanted to sell her child.
Ek kan nie vir jou sê wat het gebeur en ek kan nie vir jou sê ek dink wat het gebeur want môre het by mense weer in die stories. Maar ek voel Kelly weet waar haar kind is. Want hoekom sal sy sê haar kind is in die plakkerskamp en iemand wou haar kind verkoop het? Hoekom soek sy nie saam met die gemeenskap haar kind nie?
Suster, ek het mense wat op die saak is. So asseblief, ek weet nie waar my kind is nie. So jou sê Rhyn, gaan nergens vir jou bring nie. Suster, dit gaan nie vir jou promotion gee nie, dit gaan nie vir jou niks gee nie. So jammer suster, ek is klaar met jou.
On the 2nd of March 2024, then Police Minister Becky Cele visits Appollis.
I came here to support the police because I know some people, they say they were not doing the job. Some people will say they have withdrawn, they've left here, and I know for sure they can't do that. It's part of their job to be where the communities are set. They can't just go. There shall be no resource that will be spared.
Amen.
until we all say we have done everything. Our main prize for now is Joshlin. That is our main prize.
The next day, Western Cape Police confirmed discovery of blood-stained items in an open field. Police later report that DNA on those clothes are not a match with Joshlin Smith's DNA. This is on the 8th of April. On the 5th of March, 2 men and 2 women, eventually revealed to be Jacquen Appollis, Steveno van Rhyn, Kelly Smith, and Jacquen, are taken in for questioning. Statements including 2 confessions from Appollis and van Rhyn are taken by police. The 4 are arrested and remain in police custody. Smith, Appollis, van Rhyn, and Jacquen make their first appearance at the Vredenburg Magistrates Court on the 7th of March. They are charged with human trafficking and kidnapping. Community members protest outside the court during the brief appearance, and searches in the community continue thereafter. 23 days after the little girl has been reported missing, charges against accused number 4, Jacquen, are withdrawn, and Laurentia Lombard, a neighbor to Kelly Smith, is arrested on the same charges. Outside the Vredenburg Magistrates Court on the same day, scuffles break out between protesting residents and police. Police disperse the crowd using stun grenades. It's now the 25th of March. Accused number 4, Laurentia Lombard, confesses to her involvement in the disappearance of Joshlin Smith. She also abandons her bail application in the Vredenburg Magistrates Court. It's now 8 months since Joshlin Smith went missing. Kidnapping and human trafficking charges against accused number 4, Laurentia Lombard, are withdrawn and she's set for release. Lombard will now appear as a state witness under Section 204. The matter is transferred to the Western Cape High Court for pre-trial in January 2025. Following a question from Democratic Alliance MP Liam Jacobs, Minister of Social Development Sisi Tulashi reveals the Joshlin Smith Foundation, Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie promised to establish and donate his salary into, does not exist.
It is when you make a proclamation, it's when you say you are going to do something that is in the social interest, and you make that claim under oath as a minister, and you don't follow through on that claim under some justification that it doesn't exist. The funny thing is that it takes 2 months to register an NPO in the Western Cape. 2 months. So you're telling me, and he's telling us, in fact, that he couldn't do that. That nobody in his team could do that. That it doesn't exist. I think that is a kick in the teeth to many South Africans.
5 days later, on the 11th of November 2024, Sport, Arts and Culture Minister Gayton McKenzie says he's being true to his word to spend his ministerial salary on worthy causes. Despite not having set up the promised foundation for missing Saldanha Bay schoolgirl Joshlin Smith, McKenzie says he didn't want to rush the matter. On the 31st of January 2025, the pre-trial hearing related to the disappearance of 6-year-old Joshlin Smith is postponed to the 28th of February because of an administrative issue. The court also hears that the matter will be transferred back to Saldanha Bay to accommodate the community. On the 19th of February 2025, it marks 1 year since Joshlin's disappearance. Community members hold a prayer service in Middelpos, and Joshlin Smith is still missing. The trial of Kelly Smith, Jacquen Appollis, and Steveno van Rhyn begins in the Western Cape High Court, sitting in Saldanha Bay on the 3rd of March 2025. The trio plead not guilty to charges of kidnapping and human trafficking. On the 6th of March 2025, an inspection in loco is conducted in Middelpos, Saldanha Bay as part of the trial related to the disappearance of Joshlin Smith. Court officials and the accused visit the shack and greater area where Joshlin was last seen. An inspection in loco is a legal term derived from Latin meaning on the spot or at the place. In court proceedings, it refers to a visit by the judge and or court officials to a relevant location, typically the scene of a crime, accident or disputed property, to observe firsthand the physical layout, conditions or context relevant to the case. The inspection can be used to provide the court with a better understanding of the physical evidence or testimonies and clarify witness accounts by seeing the actual layout or location referenced in evidence. We now zoom in on the key testimonies from this trial, which sat from the 3rd of March 2025. At the beginning of the trial, Judge Nathan Erasmus emphasized the importance of efficiency to conclude the matter within a time frame of 4 weeks. Throughout the trial, the court sat from Monday to Friday, with proceedings occasionally postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. The state finalized its case on the 30th of April 2025. They brought over 30 witnesses. The defense did not bring any of their own witnesses, but rather used cross-examinations of the state's key witnesses to establish their client's innocence. Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Detective Sergeant Mayor Milstein took the stand on the 6th of March 2025. Detective Milstein briefly interviewed Kelly Smith and Jacquen Appollis at their shack in Middelpos on the 20th of February, a day after Joshlin disappeared. In his testimony, he told the court that a dog from the K9 unit retrieved a blood-stained bedsheet and pillowcase from the shack during the search of the premises. Milstein told the court that both Smith and Appollis showed no emotions when he spoke to them about what happened to Joshlin. He said that after interviewing the accused throughout the week after Joshlin disappeared, it became clear they were lying. Nico Stephen Kutsia, an evangelist from Saldanha who knew Smith because they were from the same hometown, testified that Smith confided in him about plans to sell her children in August 2023. This was 6 months before Joshlin went missing. Kutsia testified that Smith told him that the town of Saldanha would become like a Hollywood movie scene early in 2024, and that people would search for her child, but she would be nowhere to be found because she would have sent her far away. Detective Constable Rifilwe Segobe, also a member of the Family Violence, Child Protection and Sexual Offences Unit, conducted interviews with Smith, Appollis and Lombard. Segobe established that all 4 accused were on drugs. While taking Lombard's statement, she mentioned someone called Steffi, later identified as Steveno van Rhyn. This led investigators to pursue him as a person of interest. While Segobe took his statement, he admitted to being at the shack on the day that Joshlin went missing. During her investigation, it was also revealed that Joshlin had allegedly been sold to a traditional healer. Laurentia, also known as Rhyn's Lombard, was once an accused who became the state's key witness. She took the stand between the 13th and 20th of March 2025. She revealed a planned transaction implicating Kelly Smith of selling her child. Lombard and Van Rhyn were meant to receive payment from Smith for their silence. The 4, including Van Rhyn, were friends who frequently used mandrakes and methamphetamine, better known as tik, together. According to Lombard's timeline of events, on Sunday the 18th of February 2024, Kelly received a phone call. After that phone call, she informed Appollis that someone was interested in Joshlin for 20,000 rand. Later that afternoon, Lombard said she saw Kelly meet a woman with a white VW Polo. From Lombard's observations, because of the white spots on her face, the green blouse, skirt, and headscarf, the woman was a traditional healer or a sangoma. Lombard testified that Smith said she did it because of financial struggles. She testified that the following day, on the 19th of February, she witnessed Joshlin being placed into the same white VW Polo with the same woman from the previous day. During cross-examination on the 18th of March 2025, Lombard admits to initially lying to the police, attributing her dishonesty to fear and being under the influence of drugs. She acknowledged being high during the week leading up to Joshlin's disappearance. The defense then used this to question the reliability of her testimony. Also pivotal to the state's case were the confession statements of Appollis and Van Rhyn. The accused claimed that they were tortured by police to make the confessions before being instructed what to say in the statements. A lengthy trial within a trial ensued before Erasmus ruled the confession statements could be used as evidence against the accused. In the confessions, the accused stated that Smith instructed them to take Joshlin to Pumsa Sigaka, another former accused in the matter. Jacquen was then to give Appollis 20,000 rand for Joshlin, but the accused claimed that when he asked her for the money, she told him another arrangement had been made with Smith. Rhyn and Appollis also mentioned an unknown man with a red t-shirt being present when Joshlin was left with Jacquen. Rhyn told police he returned to Jacquen's home the following day to get his cut of 5,000 rand, which he never received. Charges against Jacquen were subsequently withdrawn after police could find no evidence to prove she was involved in Joshlin's disappearance. State prosecutor Swanepoel showed the court the corroboration between Coetzee and Lombard's testimony, along with the confession statements of Appollis and Rhyn, who all mentioned the 20,000 rand Joshlin was to be sold for. On the 2nd of May 2025, Judge Nathan Erasmus delivered a comprehensive judgment in the Western Cape High Court, convicting Kelly Smith, Jacquen, Boeta Appollis, and Steveno Rhyn of kidnapping and human trafficking related to the disappearance of 6-year-old Joshlin Smith. He found that the state had proven beyond a reasonable doubt that the accused were guilty of the charges, and that the evidence showed that Joshlin was exchanged and her freedom of movement and liberty was inhibited to the extent that her whereabouts was still unknown, making it unlawful. Erasmus emphasized that the state's case was not only reliant on the evidence from Laurentia Lombard because her testimony validated other testimonies and evidence. Erasmus also criticized the accused for choosing not to testify or call any witnesses in their defense. He noted that while they had the right to remain silent, their decision left the court with unchallenged evidence presented by the state. He added that more evidence could still be presented during sentencing proceedings, which could influence them to take the stand. Erasmus revealed that he would deal with the indemnity of Lombard, who could still face prosecution at a later stage. Hours after being convicted, Kelly Smith's shack is burnt to the ground, and a woman is taken in for questioning. On the 12th of May 2025, after appearing at the Vredenburg Magistrates Court, she tells media outside she did it out of anger because she wants Kelly to tell the community where the child is.